Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode. I'm your host, James. Alongside, always, his name is...
I'm Andy.
We ask you to join us on this journey as we all become legend of the nerds. Nerds, Andy.
Yes.
2 weeks. Been a pretty good 2 weeks, I guess, besides that storm.
Yeah, I mean, the storm put me out of work for 2 days. Let me just say that. I had substitute gigs lined up for those 2 days, and then,
Boom.
there comes all the snow. I see your kids had fun. Looks like they were, I mean, I saw some pictures. They're standing on top of the, 5 feet of snow piled up out front in front of your house.
That I shoveled myself up there.
I know, I was laughing at those photos too.
Oh, snow is so tall and heavy.
I saw the wife. She did something that she shouldn't have. Jumped off the porch and looked like sprained her ankle or something.
No, she has bruised it a little bit.
Oh, geez, still.
But she wanted to jump in the snow pile, too.
Gotta relive those days.
Exactly right. So what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, been doing a lot of things, actually.
Have you?
I've been, after we had the winter vacation back at the end of February, beginning of March, I decided, you know what? You ask me this every episode.
Yes, I do.
What did I do the last 2 weeks? And I'm now taking down notes. So that way I remember.
Note-taking what you did.
Exactly.
Okay.
So here we go. You know how big I am into Pokemon Go. I am obsessed with it now all of a sudden.
Yes, you are.
So I saw this thing online because on my Facebook page, you can follow me at Andy Jerwad on Facebook. I had to put that in.
Hey.
I'm on the Pokemon Go Facebook page.
Okay.
And somebody video recorded you're allowed to catch 9 eggs at a time and store them. And they were all 10-kilometer eggs, which are the good eggs to capture. And he hatched all of them at the same time. So that's what I did. I just stored up all my 10K eggs and went ahead. In the last couple days, I've been going around, collecting the kilometers, with the eggs, collecting all that. And they finally hatched all 9 of them last night.
Oh, nice.
So here's the list of what I got.
Okay.
I had to write it down. It was great things. I ended up getting 2 Pinecos, which was great. I hadn't gotten a Pinecone yet. I got a CP Snorlax that has a CP of 1855.
All right.
A powerful Snorlax. 2 Dratinis, which is great because I'm trying to get that Dragonite.
Right.
Sudowoodo, really could care less. I've been catching enough of them. Caught another Elekid, but a higher power one than what I had. A Magby, which now I can get Magmar. And my one I was really hoping for was Larvitar. And if you know who Larvitar is from Gen 2, he's at the end of the Pokemon list. So when you get to, he's like the Dragonite when he evolves to his last one.
Okay.
To Generation 1. He's this little green dinosaur-looking guy. And then he evolves into like this cocoon. And then when he evolves into his third one, it's Tyranitar.
Oh, yes.
Giant green T-Rex kind of looking thing. So very happy to get him.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, I mean...
Look at you.
That, and we were talking about before we came on air here, I got Netflix again for this month.
Yes, pretty excited about that, huh?
Binge watching right now Fuller House, because I was a huge Full House fan.
Yep.
Watched season 1 of Fuller House.
What'd you think of it?
I'm not done. I'm halfway through season 2. I already watched season 1 a long time ago.
Yeah.
I love Fuller House.
Okay, you liking it?
Amazing. Especially when they bring back the original cast like Stamos and all that. After that, we'll be binge watching The Ranch season 2. Because season 1, amazing.
By the way, it's all amazing. It's too short. That show is way too short.
All the Netflix shows, I would say all of the Netflix, you need to make your seasons longer.
Yeah.
Not just 10 episodes or something like that.
Because The Ranch is really funny.
It is. It's amazing. And then, which we'll have something to talk about on the next episode, I will be binge watching Luke Cage, because I haven't watched it yet, and The Iron Fist, which is out now.
I will be talking a little bit about Iron Fist later on in the episode.
It's fine with me.
Not much, just a little bit. That's all.
So, I mean, that's me. I mean, between work and stuff like that, obviously I sub, so that's why I couldn't work during the snow days, but... So, yeah.
I worked during the snow days, Andy.
Yes, you have to travel all the way out to Essex.
I did leave early, though, on the first day.
I heard. And how long did it take you to get home?
It took me about 2 hours to get home.
Yep. My parents actually work out in Burlington in Essex, and they ended up... my mom... She could work from home because she works from home half the time and goes out half the time. So she called up the boss. Boss said, yeah, you can just stay home and work. So that's a plus for working at home.
Absolutely.
The dad, he just said, no, I'm calling in sick.
Yeah. I didn't even test the interstate out that day. I just took the back ways all the way home, and it took me forever.
Yeah, I've done it too where when I was working out in Essex, at at a corporation we won't mention on this show. Took me usually 45 minutes on an average day to get to work. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know what? If it takes me an hour and a half, double that time, I don't care. As long as I get to work safe.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm late. And that's what I did.
Yep.
Took my time. I probably got to work 1 minute late.
Not bad.
No, but still, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk it. It's just like when we used to work at another corporation we don't like to mention.
Right.
When I was doing deliveries, I used to tell people, I don't care how long it takes me to get your delivery to your house. I'm not risking my life so you can shove things down your throat.
Right.
So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And for me, I'm job hunting again.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah.
So it is confirmed. They're
not telling me anything.
Okay.
They're not really telling me anything.
Because I know the Radio Shack here in town. This is what. Answer me this. I wanted to make a note of this. This is why I say I've been trying to take notes so I remember things. They had their sign because, as you know, the one here in town is now kaput.
Not yet.
Okay, well, it looked like it when I was driving by a couple days ago. It's funny, though. They have a sign out there, or I should say going kaput. And it would say, countdown to the last day, blah, blah, blah. And not this past weekend, but the weekend before, the sign said 2 days until closing.
Yep.
Maybe 3, 4, 5 days later, I'm driving by, and it still says that number.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point in keeping a tally on there if you're not going to...
They were pushed back to stay open another month.
Okay. Because now it says 9 days till closing.
Yeah, they were pushed back.
I'm like... And the thing is, I went in there, and just like you said, there's nothing on sale. I mean, everything's still their regular price.
It's all on clearance. We just don't post the signs on there. It's all on clearance.
Me personally, I mean, if you want to go, me being the business person I am because I went to business school, you want to post something. It actually catches the eye of the customer more, and to actually spend more. I mean, we used to play those like tricks when we worked at Blockbuster. It's like you say this is on sale, and then maybe if you pay full price for one more, you get something smaller, and it doesn't really add up. But you don't think of that as a customer. You just think, sale. So, I mean, I don't know. They had, I think, the remote control cars that were maybe half price, but that was still like $150.
Right.
Didn't look like any drones were left.
No, those drones went real fast.
Yep. Anything else happened to you this last 2 weeks? Anything?
Yes, me and the wife are in college again. We're taking a small Japanese course at St. Mike's.
Yes, because the dream is to move to Japan someday.
Yes, so I'm in a Japanese course right now.
Yep.
In fact, I'll be going there after this show here. But
I will say, before we move on, the other thing was I did this weekend. I watched a little X-Men this weekend. So Days of Future Past was on TV Saturday and Sunday. So I watched it, and I'm like, let's watch it again. But what was interesting is, if you remember with Days of Futures Past, it actually came out in two different sets. The set that we see in theaters, and then another set which was Rogue's story or something like that.
Yeah.
Because Rogue's character was actually supposed to be in the movie for about 15 minutes, and then they decided to take her out of the movie. Well, then they ended up selling the set with her in it in the movie, and they played that one Sunday. So they played the original on Saturday. I'm watching Sundays. I'm like, wait. I don't ever remember this happening. Rogue never shows up except at the end of the movie.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, they're finally playing this one. And it was amazing watching those extra 15 minutes with her in the movie. It was actually really intriguing. And at the end, when Logan fixes history and the Sentinels don't ever exist, really, it got my gears turning with the new Logan movie that came out. Because Scott's now alive.
Are you really trying to establish a storyline between the X-Men movies?
Yes.
Good luck with that.
I actually have. I've been writing notes down and everything.
None of it matches up.
And all I'm thinking is I want to know what happens. Because in Logan, I think most of the people die. So what happened after he brings everyone back? So we'll see. I'm excited to see Logan. I'm excited, too, because at the end of this week, we got the Power Rangers movie comes out.
We have a lot coming out.
We have so much to come out. It's going to be ridiculous when we get to Blockbuster hits at the end of this month. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, it's a nice little push into the checklist.
Into the checklist. Want to start with the wrestling talk?
Let's do a little wrestling talk.
All right, wrestling talk.
A little wrestling.
Well, WWE, what do we got?
We've actually announced on here some of the, talked about some of the Hall of Fame inductees this year, with WrestleMania only 14 days away.
Oh, there was a little rumor I wanted to talk about that too.
John Cena has been confirmed to be inducting Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Which I thought might happen.
I thought it might happen too.
Because of the whole Cena's first day in WWE with Kurt Angle thing.
Yep.
And then the APA is inducting Teddy Long into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's a good match.
So, I'm excited to watch the Hall of Fame this year. Moving on, not much.
Is that it for the Hall of Fame?
For me, there was
I have some rumors I want to talk about.
Jim Cornette, I think his name is inducting the Rock and Roll Express.
Right. Now, I'm not sure how true this rumor is. Maybe you heard something more about it. Chris Benoit going in the Hall of Fame this year.
Really?
That's what I've been hearing. I'm not sure how true it is. What do you think? Does he deserve to go in the Hall of Fame?
As a wrestler, yes. Yeah. But being the fact with the whole
incident
that happened, I mean, he's not even on all his matches and stuff like that have been taken off the WWE network, unless they're obviously main things that happen. You can't search for him on the network, is what I should be saying. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There has been some things moving back on here that have happened, but we don't have enough time to talk about all of them.
Okay.
Because I want to mention, yes, Mania, 14 days away. We will be watching it. That'll be our next show. Will be our anniversary episode. It started with WrestleMania. We start every anniversary show with WrestleMania.
Sure.
11 matches have already been announced for WrestleMania.
11 matches.
So I'm going to go over them quickly. You can cut me off whenever if you have an idea about them.
Sure.
We have Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Excited to see that. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. I'm not excited to see it. Because I know what's going to happen. Lesnar's going to win, and I'm going to hate it.
You just hate predictable matches.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we're never going to see the title ever again if Lesnar wins.
Yeah.
We'll see it once every 3 months.
Because we're probably thinking Goldberg's done his little run.
Yeah. After Mania. Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. I'm still up in the loop how I feel about this match because Taker doesn't do anything for me anymore. It's like, okay, yay, we get the Taker match every year.
What's the point of this match?
The whole point is...
I mean, is the point to push Roman Reigns?
Yes and no. Roman Reigns always talks about him being the top dog and this is his yard.
Yeah.
What did Undertaker always say? This is my yard. So when they kind of came in looking at each other, Roman Reigns told him to get out of his yard.
Yeah.
And then Taker chokeslammed
him.
So, we have this one, which will be very interesting. Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. Should be a decent match.
Should be a match.
Some of your... here we go. John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice.
I heard about this match.
We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be a cute little fill-in match.
We'll see. I'm excited, really excited for this. I praise the Cruiserweight division, or in TNA, the X division, or even Lucha Underground, because of the High Flyers. Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight title.
That right there might be the match of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have, here's some of your favorites. The Raw Women's Championship. Bayley versus Charlotte versus Sasha in a triple threat. I have a feeling this is actually going to be a decent women's match.
You know, it's hard enough to see them go one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be terrible to see them go one-on-one.
My whole thing is hopefully Bayley comes out with the title still, because she's a champion right now, because I don't need to see Charlotte or Sasha be a 3, 4, 5, 6-time champion right now. The other SmackDown Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss, the champion, faces, and this will literally be the toilet break match. Alexa Bliss versus Carmella versus Mickie James versus Natalya versus Becky Lynch versus to be announced. So it's
an elimination.
Nope, these are all singles matches right now. Nothing has been changed to anything else. Everything is literally a singles match, or it's a normal match, I should say. Yeah, versus TBA, meaning, okay, yeah, so we're going to have more. I don't even think there are any divas left on the SmackDown roster to add.
Oh, I got it. Ready for that to be announced? Lita.
You really you have a feeling she's coming back, don't you?
With Mickey James there? Heck yeah.
Even though all the surgery she's had on her neck, she really can't wrestle anymore.
She's
No. Trish Stratus. Trish,
Oh.
there has been talk about Trish coming back.
Trish, yeah.
Not being like massive full time, but not half time like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, no, that could be a good one too.
And remember, her and Mickey James, little rivalries they had. Mickey James won her very first women's championship against Trish Stratus at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That'd
So
be crazy.
Trish is a better one.
I'd love that to happen.
Good thought, Andy.
That would
Look
not
at
be
you.
that would not be my toilet break match.
Look at you.
Moving on, we have you love the tag team divisions. So here you go. The Raw Tag Team Champions, Gallows and Anderson, the club, against your boys, Enzo and Cass, versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Triple threat tag team match.
Oof. That's a good one.
We have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which we all love a Battle Royal.
We do.
The people are talking about Big Show maybe being a two-time champion coming out of this. We'll see.
Or Kane's retirement match wins.
Could be. And the match that was just announced this past Tuesday is AJ Styles versus Shane O'Mac. I am so excited for this
Really?
match. What happened was...
Why?
Well, this is what happened. On Tuesday night, this past Tuesday, AJ comes out and he's all ticked off because he lost to Randy Orton. Lost his number one title shot to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. And he blames Shane and Daniel Bryan for putting him in that match. He believed he deserved the title shot. Randy gave it up. So he's blaming all of them, and he said he's going to have words with Shane McMahon. Shane comes walking in, and AJ blindsides him, destroys him, puts him through a car window. I mean, shirt's all ripped, everything. And what happened is, later on in the night, Daniel Bryan comes in with security and fires AJ Styles. Security has to bring him out and everything like that.
Fires him.
Fires AJ Styles. And
I hate this gimmick.
AJ Styles is complaining during the night that he doesn't even have a match for WrestleMania, blah, 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 blah. Shane comes out, literally, there's like 30 seconds left of the show. Shane McMahon comes out hobbling and says, AJ Styles complaining he doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. He does now. Show ends.
Wow. Why would Shane do it again?
I don't care. I love Shane McMahon matches, and AJ is a ridiculous talent.
He is.
I can't wait to watch that.
He is.
Other matches that aren't confirmed, but they're going to happen, whether they're pre-show or whatever. Tag team titles on SmackDown have to be up for grabs.
Yep.
The Usos this past week got a win over American Alpha. So that'll probably be that. The kicker is, will Kurt Angle come out with American Alpha? They're going to be at WrestleMania.
What do you think?
Well, being the fact on Tuesday night, the entire arena was during that match was chanting, Angle, Angle.
Really?
And I'm just thinking, please come out. I wanted to see him come out during that match, but he didn't. I see that match happening, and there'll probably be one more. So, oh yeah, the Intercontinental Championship's still not on the line. It'll probably be Dean Ambrose, the champ, versus Baron Corbin, because they're going into a rivalry right now.
Right.
And I see that being like a Falls Count Anywhere's match or something, because they've been going around the arena. So, that is WWE. Lucha Underground, still on break right now, halfway through Season 3, but it was announced that you can now watch all of Season 1 and 2 on Netflix.
Of Lucha, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you are a wrestling fan,
I'm planning on binging
if you
that
are a
soon.
wrestling fan, I preach Lucha Underground all the time. Go if you have a Netflix account and watch Lucha Underground. It's amazing. Finally, TNA. We have been complaining about TNA so much,
Are they doing something?
how crappy it is. Ever since Anthem Sports took over TNA and are now the owners of TNA, it's not run by like Dixie or all that really anymore.
Okay.
TNA has been reminding me of TNA when it was great.
When it was great.
They are doing everything that they used to do, and the last 2 or 3 episodes, I'm just wow. They're doing this hashtag Make TNA Great, which is pretty
Again.
neat. They're bringing back some people that were behind the scenes that made TNA great back in the day. And it's no longer, the company is no longer affiliated with the name TNA or Total Nonstop Action.
Okay.
They have literally thrown that out.
Is it just Impact?
It's just Impact Wrestling.
Perfect.
I still count it as TNA when I talk about it. It's got new colors. They have new referee outfits. Everything is pointing. I mean, even the promos, they act like the Attitude Era in WWE.
Which is perfect, eh?
Which is great. And the funniest thing is they rip on WWE constantly on their promos. They literally don't say a certain company. They literally mention WWE on the show. It's great. The bad thing, they hired Alberto Del Rio.
I heard about that too.
He's wrestling in his regular name, like he did in Lucha Underground, as Alberto El Patron.
Right.
And I hate Del Rio, but the funniest thing is when he came out the first night, he said, "Finally, again, I can use my real name. I don't have to make up a name like in WWE, calling myself Alberto Del Rio."
Really?
Funniest thing I've ever seen.
How's E3 handling that?
Him and EC3 this last week actually had an amazing match against each other.
I could bet they did.
Del Rio actually on his first night faced Bobby Lashley and won the TNA World Championship. I hated that. He then relinquished it because winning it under false pretenses kind of thing. Kind of really didn't, but he did.
I heard the storyline a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so Bobby is the champion. EC3 and Del Rio had a number one contenders match. It was actually pretty good. Del Rio won. El Patron.
El Patron.
So, the thing is, this is another kicker, though. Because the Pope, you remember who the Pope is?
Yeah.
And Josh Matthews are the commentators.
Yep.
And JB, Jeremy Borash, who's always behind the scenes or doing, they finally have put him, Anthem Sports have put him on the announce team also. So it's great because now Josh Matthews is the like Michael Cole kinda, where he's always ticking people off.
Of course.
And him and Jeremy Borash are butting heads, and Pope's just in the middle. Jeremy Borash announced that he said she is coming. And everyone's like, well, who's she? Who's she? So all I'm trying to think is, he's like, next week you'll see, she'll be here. So I'm like, okay, is it someone who's coming back into TNA who had an injury or something, like Gail Kim? Or is it somebody from WWE coming over here? And if it is, Del Rio or El Patron is there. Do you know who he's dating right now? Who actually they're living together in San Antonio?
No.
Paige.
Oh.
I haven't seen her for so long in WWE, and I know for a fact she's been in a lot of trouble with WWE. Now that Alberto's there, could Paige, which if she does, just made that division amazing.
Could be.
So we'll see. That is wrestling talk.
That's wrestling talk. I watched a lot of movies lately. I know you've watched a lot of movies this week.
Not this week.
One movie I watched, I wanted to bring this up. It's called The Countdown. You're probably busy over here. I was trying to remember what the movie is called. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Okay.
It stars Dolph Ziggler and Glenn Jacobs.
Yes, because I've seen some of the WWE studio movies.
Yeah. That's one of them. It was a really good movie. It was a real good movie. I'd suggest checking it out.
Real quickly, on the last show, when I said all these movies I rented and watched, I couldn't remember all of them. I remembered them, and I told you after the show. It was Bad Santa 2. If you haven't watched it, amazing. Even funnier than the first one. And the second was Max Steel. Because
last show you talked about that. Yep.
I wanted to watch Max Steel. It was very slow in the beginning, but once you get about halfway, it picks up, and it's pretty good halfway the second half.
Yep. Kicking off with Netflix still, I am watching Iron Fist.
Okay.
I'm watching 2 episodes at a time. So I'm going to watch 2 episodes every 2 weeks. Just so I don't get too far ahead and you can catch up, kind of. So far, I'm enjoying this show a lot better than Luke Cage. So Luke Cage and Daredevil were pretty dark and gringy, you know? This show and Jessica Jones are both more brighter. But this is where the comedy comes in to the universe. This show is very funny. Yeah. It's really well done so far. the storyline, real good. They do a flashback to how his plane crashed.
Okay.
You know, but it's not like an Arrow flashback. He kind of like meditates, and then you get the flashback.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's how they're doing it. Really well done so far.
Cool.
I'm really enjoying this
Very
show.
excited. A little bit more because we're doing this movie TV talk. I saw in Entertainment Tonight, Fox has announced they're going to remake the movie The Fly.
Again?
Well, I don't know.
Did you see so they made a black and white version.
Yep,
They made it one in the 80s starring Jeff Goldblum,
that's the one I've seen.
which was awesome. Now they're making another one?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know, but this is even worse. Warner Brothers is announced they're redeveloping The Matrix. It's
heard
too soon.
it's-
too soon.
Here's about this. They're not remaking.
Well, it's redevelop.
What they're going to do is they're going to tell the story of Morpheus's past first.
So we got
That's
a prequel.
how they're going to do it.
We have a
It's
prequel.
going to be a prequel, exactly.
I guess.
They are going to go ahead and do a Star Wars doing, you know? Mm-hmm. That the prequel is going to jump forward. Keanu Reeves is on board for doing
As long as they don't
Matrix
redo the first 3.
4, 5, and 6. He's on
Okay.
board.
Okay.
But there's stipulations. The script must be perfect, and the same directors must be on board.
Makes sense.
You know, that's the only way he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with him. If you're going to reboot something like The Matrix, this is a very touchy subject. The Matrix series was phenomenal.
Oh, amazing.
And you cannot have Hollywood get in there with these really bad directors and just slaughter them. You have to have it done perfectly.
Yep.
And Keanu Reeves, he's going to make sure if it does get redone, like continued on storyline, it's going to be done the perfect way. And he's the man to do it, too.
Jumping back on the bandwagon. So.
Yeah.
Chris Evans announced again he's done as Captain America after the next Avengers movie. So the
We've heard that before.
toss-up question is, everyone's talking about who's it going to be, Bucky or Falcon? I don't know. We'll see.
Could be somebody else, too.
True. I've been telling you I've been watching Dragon Ball Super.
Yep.
Phenomenal. I'm loving it. The only thing I hate is half-an-hour episodes because it's once a week. It's every Saturday night.
Yep.
And you just want more now. That's the thing. If it was an hour episode, okay, I could watch it every week. Half-an-hour episodes just go by so quick.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Along with that, though, Samurai Jack's back for the last season. Just started up 2 weeks ago. Season 5.
They're going to finally finish it up.
Yep,
All right.
it's a 10-episode season, and it's back for the first time since 2004.
Yep.
I've enjoyed it. Let me just read how it starts, the story. Every episode starts with this, Samurai Jack narrating. It says, 50 years have passed, but I do not age. Time has lost its effect on me, yet the suffering continues. Aku's grasp chokes the past, present, and future. All hope is lost. Got to get back to the past, Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He's 50 years have passed now since the last episode in season 4. He's lost his sword, so he can't kill Aku with it like he normally does. Aku has closed all time portals. He's grown this long beard. He drives a motorcycle. He's got armor on, everything.
That's awesome.
And one of the big things that he's had to cope with is he's really not doing his mission anymore. He's just driving around. And he's being haunted by his father, saying that he needs to avenge them and finish his mission.
Yep.
And he always kills Aku's robots in the future. Well, now Aku they're called the Daughters of Aku. They're these 7 girls when they were born. They've been trained by Aku's priestesses to learn how to kill the samurai. So Samurai Jack has never had to kill a human being. He had to in the second episode I just watched. He thought it was a robot he was fighting, the 7 of them. And when her mask fell off, he slit her throat.
Yeah.
It's very dark and gory. I mean, he slits her throat.
That's what Samurai Jack is.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And he goes into this kind of depression almost that he just killed a human being. So it's getting good that he's never killed somebody, and now he's going down this dark path.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I'm telling you, Toonami is where it's at. That's where the shows are at.
The only last thing I have for TV and movie talk is the new season of Pokemon came out a couple weeks ago. They aired the first 2 episodes, and then they'll probably wait till this summer. It's called Pokemon Sun and Moon. I will not be watching it. I've literally watched every single Pokemon episode since I was a little kid. They have now reanimated it. How we talk about the crappy animation.
Yeah.
and it looks like Teen Titans Go or the new Justice League. I mean, the animation is so bad.
It's so bad.
I'm like, you just ruined Pokemon for me.
Yep.
I will not watch
That's what they do.
this upcoming season.
That's what they do.
So, moving on, we have box office, because I know we're running. We got a lot to talk about. Or do you want to do
the Flareverse? Supergirl, not impressed. I don't remember the episode. That's how unimpressed I was with that show right now. Flash.
Amazing.
Flash is really good. Here's what I put down. Wally West goes into Speed Force. Barry goes to save him. Barry sees Eddie, Ronnie, and Leonard Snart.
Yeah, because the Speed Force is talking to him through them.
Yep, exactly. Jay Garrick goes and helps out, decides to take Wally's spot in the Speed Force so Barry can save Wally and get him out.
Yes, and Jesse Quick goes to Earth 3.
The question is, you asked this question, who is
Savitar.
Savitar? What is your guess?
My guess, because when I saw Eddie as the Speed Force, I didn't know that was the Speed Force talking to him at first. My thought was Eddie from a different time period or another Earth or something like that. But then I'm reconsidering it. Then I thought maybe it's Robbie, because remember, Robbie goes into the time vortex. He's in the time force somewhere's lost.
Yep.
Because when the Speed Force asked Barry, are you only here to save Wally? I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's going after Robbie too. Because Robbie's lost somewheres. I'm still thinking we're going to see Robbie somewheres.
That's a really good point.
And then I thought maybe it's him. But now I have not a clue. I really don't. We know it's a human being under there because he's been hurt now.
Yeah. Jesse heard him.
Yeah. So I have not a clue.
I honestly think it's Barry Allen from Flashpoint.
Huh.
That's what I think.
I don't know.
So that's a tough one. So I can't wait to figure out all that ends up, how it wraps up.
That's why I brought Flash here to put on for props.
Yeah.
Flash has been, we talk about how good Arrow's been this season. Flash has been just as good this season.
Flash has been really
I've
good.
been very excited with Flash.
Yep.
Quickly, just to mention in Supergirl, the episode, what it was Cadmus stealing all the aliens and wanting to shoot them off to another planet.
Oh,
This is where Jeremiah actually turns on Cadmus and sides with Alex.
And that's how much I'm not really excited about Supergirl anymore. I just forget.
You forgot
Really
you forgot
lost.
the best part though at the end. Kevin Sorbo and Terry Hatcher at the end of the movie, at the end of the show.
Yeah,
they're
that's
the
right.
Daxamites coming to get Mon-El.
That's right.
They're villains, just like I pointed out they'd probably be.
Sorbo showed up. That's right.
They're going to be in the next episode. It's going to be great.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Legends, you told me you didn't watch.
I did not.
So you didn't see either episode, Land of the Lost or Moonshot?
I saw Land of the Lost.
Okay, I mean, what you really get out of that is them retrieving Rip, turning him back to Rip
Yeah.
Hunter, and finding out Rip has a romantic connection with Gideon.
And why shouldn't they?
So, I mean, and then you learn, Nate learns about Amaya's future.
Yeah.
Don't screw around with her because she has a destiny. She's going to pass along the Vixen powers to our Vixen.
It's set in stone. Yep.
Moonshot is where they get the fourth piece of the Spear of Destiny, and it's actually Nate's grandfather, Commander Steele.
Yep.
He hit it in 1969 when we went to the moon. Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
He hit it in the flagpole.
That's awesome.
So it's literally off Earth. Eobard Thawne goes into the spaceship in Apollo 13 to try to capture it.
Right.
Ray stops him, grabs everything. The big thing that came out
I'm
of
going
this.
to watch this episode tonight, too. So
Okay, so
if I have time, I'm going to watch it
the
tonight.
big thing you have to watch is the end of it.
Okay.
That's the tearjerker
Yep.
that happens. I won't go into any more of it. Then we had Arrow. There was only one episode, and it was called Checkmate. This was one of the best episodes of Arrow this season.
It was a good episode, huh?
It was so gut-wrenching.
It was so good. I watched the final 15 minutes twice.
The duel between him and Prometheus. Even the beginning, the look that Stephen Amell portrays in Oliver finding out that it's Adrian from Talia.
Yeah.
Talia, he finds out Talia trained him because Talia's ticked off that he killed her father.
Yep.
And she says, "You never knew my last name. It was El Ghul." They kidnap Oliver at the end to torture him. And you get a little bit more into Felicity and Helix. Helix is like, you do something for me, we do something for you.
Of course.
I'm wondering where this is going with Helix. Will this lead into season 6?
It's definitely going to lead into season 6.
Yeah, I don't know much about Helix.
They're
So.
not going to cut it off so soon.
Yeah.
No.
So,
She's going to go into dark places.
the other things that come out of the CW universe is on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, so the date is March 21st. Everyone's been craving for it. I don't care about it. It is the Flash musical episode.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be
And
great.
it's obviously a crossover. You get Kara's going to be in it.
Heck
Professor
yeah.
Stein's in it. So it's a crossover from all the episodes except Arrow. I didn't see any Arrow people in it. So yeah, it's the musical.
I think Stu Mill was against it.
I'm good.
But
I do not want to
it's
see
gonna be
this.
great.
Oh my god, I hate musicals.
I wanted to ask you about something about the CW network. Trying to let this load up. I have so many devices. I'm trying to do a lot of research as we do the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to keep us updated on everything big. Are you watching, what is it, Riverdale?
No,
You're not?
no.
Are you any interested in watching it?
They didn't do anything for me.
No? I haven't watched it yet.
I watched the other CW show I watch is The 100,
Oh, okay.
which is amazing.
Yep.
And when iZombie comes back, I love iZombie.
I haven't seen that one yet either.
Very good.
Yeah. Because, Riverdale's about the Archie comics.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you watched it or not.
Not yet. I mean, there's a lot of things to do during the day, a lot of things to watch. That's the
There
problem.
definitely is so much.
Especially being the fact in 2 weeks, we got to put our sports pun in here. Baseball returns in 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'll be watching 162 games for the next 8 months.
Where's the money on?
Got to go with my Red Sox.
All right, Andy, watching stuff. Box office heroes are watching stuff.
Yes.
Lots of people are watching stuff.
Yep. Okay. Number 3.
Yep.
I'm going with Logan.
Okay.
It was number 1 2 weeks ago. I'm going with number 3. Number 2, I'm going with Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Number 1, I'm going with Kong Skull Island.
Ooh, reverse 1 and 2, and you got it.
That's
rock
what
solid.
everyone was telling me. They're like, Beauty and the Beast was so amazing. Beauty and the Beast, Beauty and the Beast. And I'm like,
Do you know how amazing it was? Let me tell you how amazing it was. It was $170 million amazing.
go Beauty and the Beast. I called it as most anticipated movie for 2017, and people think it's going to be The Fate and the Furious.
Now, Kong Skull Island, $28 million. Logan still good at $17 million.
Wow, Kong, they only made that little?
Well, I mean, Beauty and the Beast came out.
True. This is why I stated, and I wrote some more coming out this weekend, actually. We have Life coming out. That's with Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal, where they're up in space.
The space one, yep.
That looks amazing. Chips comes out. People are going to go see it. And the Power Rangers come out.
Yes.
This is going to make it very hard it's been a big March. That's the thing. And it's not going to stop. That's why I say spring into the end of summer, that's where all the big money is.
Yeah,
the big
it is.
movies are. So again, I did good. Pat on my back.
Did good,
I
man.
got 3 of them.
I think you cheat
in
a
the
little
wrong
bit.
spot. I don't cheat. I swear I do not cheat.
All right. While the old throw here, Andy.
Yeah. I'll have to switch those around after we're off air here. I dropped my pen under the table. So
time. Oh, we got some time, Andy. We got some time.
Got some time.
So we're gonna do a little Doctor Strange talk.
Yes.
I know the movie's been out for a while. We've not had a chance to talk about it. We're gonna talk about it now. Mm-hmm. I have questions for you.
We wanted to watch it when it hit theaters. We didn't get a chance, so obviously then we had to wait for it to come out on DVD.
Right.
So, spoiler alert, we are talking Doctor Strange. If you haven't watched it, oh well, that's your own fault.
So we're going to talk about it. I'm not sure how much in-depth summary you want to get into the movie, but I do have some other things I want to talk about revolving around Doctor Strange.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and, if you want to do a summary of the movie, give us what you want. After, I'll give you some questions.
So you want me to just go straight into how it starts, how it ends kind of thing?
I think you should. I mean, do a little bit. Like, do you highlight
the movie doesn't even start with Doctor Strange. It starts with Caecilius, which is the former apprentice of the Ancient One.
Yep.
Breaking into the library and stealing from the Ancient One's books a couple spells. And you need to figure out, okay, who is this guy at first, because we don't know who he is. Ancient One goes after him and his goon squad, I call him. He gets away. She kills a couple of them. This is where you get a lot of the trippiness, I call it.
Yeah.
So literally, you are if the buildings are flipping and this and that, and this is, I think they call it the glass world or the mirror world. That's what they call it. You move then into Stephen Strange. He is a neurosurgeon, one of the best in the world.
Yep.
He only works on certain people. That's why he's filthy rich. I mean, he's a neurosurgeon. He reminds me of a Tony Stark. He's got the nice things, the fast cars, doesn't care about anyone else but himself.
Yeah.
One night, as he's on his way to some charity event or something like that, he's talking on, this is the first Easter egg I saw. He's talking on his phone to his coworker about taking on a new client. And they're mentioning a couple, and one of them is an Air Force colonel that had a bad crash in a metal suit. I don't remember the exact words that he used, but light bulb, that's Captain James Rhodes' War Machine.
Yep.
If you all remember, in Civil War, he took a crash and can't use his legs. So that's a nice little Easter egg into Doctor Strange trying to fix him, passes on him, and right after he passes, what's he do? He crashes his car.
Yeah.
Tumbles over the hills, flips it upside down. He actually, neurosurgeon needs their hands. He's great with his hands. He loses his abilities to use his hands, goes through a lot of physical therapy, years and years, to try to fix them. He can't. Learns of a guy named Pangborn who lost the ability to use his legs and now can miraculously walk again. Asks him, he tells him to go to a place called, I wrote it here in my notes and I can't remember where I wrote it. Give me 2 seconds.
A monastery.
Karma Cha. It's in Nepal. And that's where he meets the Ancient One. And she shows him all of his powers because he doesn't believe her.
Right.
But she does not want to train him because she believes him to be too much like Caecilius, her former pupil who's now gone rogue.
Of course.
It was funny, so funny. He gets stuck out there for about 5 hours, I think Mordo says. And they finally let him back in. They decide to train him. And this is where the Doctor Strange starts learning about his abilities. Anything you'd like to add coming into this movie so far?
What did you think about the Ancient One? Casting her instead of an old man.
I had no problem with it.
I thought it was a good call.
She did
I had no problem with this at all.
She did a very good job. I didn't even know who the Ancient One was yet, because Doctor Strange is one of those characters in the background I don't know much about. I never really got into.
Well, that's why I brought my Doctor Strange movie instead. That explains all of it. It was such a good movie, so you should check that one out one of these days. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
But anything you want to add? Anything that stood out to you? Anything else besides the Ancient One?
No? So far, you're doing good, man.
Oh, yeah, moving on. He has a hard time learning because his hands still don't work completely. And the whole time is they're trying to teach him, you don't need your hands to be great again. They're a tool.
Yeah.
And he finally starts to realize that he can do this without the use of his mobility in his hands. He next meets one of my favorite characters, Wong. Wong is the new librarian in the temple because the old one got beheaded by...
He was comedy relief in the movie. That's what he was.
The first one got beheaded by Caecilius in the beginning. And Wong says no one will ever steal anything out of this library again. And it's funny because what's Strange do? Later on, he starts stealing books behind Wong using his teleport spell.
Of course.
Nice little... This movie was full of a lot of action, suspense, and comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, it had it all. And he asks about the Ancient One's books, explains the whole thing about them. They're hers. Only she's allowed to read them. She's the only one who can read them. We see the eye for the first time. They also mentioned the eye in this.
Yes, they did.
And they mentioned the three sanctums. This is the Avengers Easter egg they talk about, because they mentioned the Avengers protect the world from physical threats.
Yes.
We protect the world from the mystical threats.
Yes, absolutely.
So, nice little touch there. Strange becomes more effect with his powers, and
That's because he starts believing.
yeah, exactly.
That's the point, is that he starts believing in
What's
this.
great is he then steals from Wong again the eye, which is the eye of Agamotto.
Yep.
Which everyone, if you're a Doctor Strange fan, you know it's what he wears, the little pendant he wears. And he steals he grabs the Ancient One's book that Caecilius stole pages out of, and Strange learns how to read it right there and then. That's how good Strange has done in his training.
Of course.
The problem is the rules state that you are not allowed to mess with the space and time. And what's he doing? He's messing with space and time. He gets caught. He gets in trouble. Later on, we find out that he learns about the 3 sanctums, which are in London, New York, and Hong Kong.
Right.
If they all go down, if 2 of the 3 go down, then evil can take over, which that evil we then learn is Dormammu, which is a nice little touch.
Dormammu.
Caecilius then attacks the London sanctum and destroys it. So we're down 2 now. This is where Strange finally meets Caecilius, and he takes on Caecilius and his goons, and he does a good job, actually.
This is when the cloak comes in.
Not yet, because
Okay.
it's right. They're still in London
All right.
fighting, and then London goes down. They go to New York because he teleports to the next sanctum. Caecilius is coming after him, and he's throwing all these different weapons at him, and it's funny because the cloak is pointing at something.
Yeah.
And he goes to grab something, and the cloak's like, that! And it's funny, he uses it, but Strange falls, the cloak gets free. Nice touch, attaching to Strange, and he can float, he can fly now. Because once I saw the cloak in the glass box, I'm like, there it is. When's he going to get... Because I was hoping, I'm like, please get the cloak in this movie, not let it be something you're not going to get until the second movie. Mm-hmm. So nice little touch there. He captures Caecilius, and they have their little talk about the Ancient One using dark magic,
Yep.
and about Dormammu. So you have all that happen. Caecilius gets... because Strange gets stabbed, and he has Rachel McAdams' character help him. And this is where he has the spirit world fight with one of the goons. Do you remember that in the hospital? Okay. And during this fight, that's when Caecilius gets released from his little trap device. Yep. And heads to Hong Kong to destroy the Hong Kong sanctum. Mm-hmm. We'll pause there. What stood out to you?
You know, like I said, I've seen this movie a while ago. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I don't remember the movie too much. Mm-hmm. So just keep going where you're going. Keep talking about it. Because, like I said, I have plenty of stuff that may come to mind after I talk about these topics here.
Okay. Mordo and the Ancient One show up to the fight, finally. And they know they need to stop Caecilius. And they end up going into the mirror world. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, like Mordo said, you've just doomed us all, Strange, because Caecilius' powers are strongest in the mirror world. This is where we lose the Ancient One. During the battle, she gets stabbed by Caecilius, and they fall out of the mirror world. Strange brings her to get help at the hospital. In the spirit world now, the astrological, when they can take their soul from their body, he follows the Ancient One, and this is where she explains to him that she's been able to see into the future, but she never can see past this spot. So she knows this is where she dies. She's come to terms with it. But I forgot to mention, actually, the big thing. In the mirror world, Caecilius basically says to Mordo and Strange, you can't trust the Ancient One because she's been lying to you the entire time. How do you think she's been able to live for hundreds and hundreds of years? She uses the dark world powers to stay young and stuff. Yep. And that's the only way you can do that is by using dark powers. So that's where Mordo kind of starts to not trust her anymore. So she ends up dying. The Caecilius and his goons attack Wong, who's the sorcerer of the Hong Kong sanctum. They destroy it and they kill Wong, unfortunately. And now Dormammu, with only one sanctum left, can come into play. Caecilius sets a spell to bring Dormammu to our world. Nice little trippy effects again with all the colors.
Yep.
And Strange and Mordo decide they need to go ahead, protect the last sanctum, because if that goes down, everything's done. They head to Hong Kong to go ahead and face Caecilius, and Strange grabs the eye of Agamotto, decides to turn back time. I can do this. I can bring the sanctum back. If I turn back time, Dormammu can't come here, because now we have 2 out of the 3 sanctums still. And as he's turning back time, that's when the battle begins with Mordo, Strange, and as he brings back time halfway, Wong comes back to life. Yay! And they battle Caecilius. Dormammu's still appearing, because now time has just stopped. He can't roll it back anymore. And he finds out a light bulb clicks, because they're talking about something, and he decides he has to fly into Dormammu's lair and use a spell on Dormammu.
This is toward the end of the final fight scene, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about this final fight scene. This is very interesting. Please.
So with Dormammu, the spell is a repeating time spell.
Yep.
And he's placed himself and Dormammu on a repeating time where Dormammu kills him, and the second Strange dies, he comes back in. Dormammu kills him, he comes back in. And every time Strange comes back in, he says, Dormammu, I have a proposition for you. Dormammu, I have a proposition for you. And it just keeps going on. And Dormammu's like, I can do this all day. I can do it all day too. And Dormammu's like, you're going to be stuck here, da-da-da-da. Yes, but I have come to terms with sacrificing myself as long as it makes that you can't come to Earth. Nice touch.
Yeah.
Like I say, Strange reminds me of Tony Stark. Tony Stark became selfless in the Avengers when he sacrificed himself in the other world to bring the nuke and almost died up there. And that's the same with Strange. Strange finally became a hero when he decided to sacrifice himself and stay with Dormammu.
Right.
And Dormammu gets ticked off. He never can leave now. He has to keep repeating this thing. And they repeat it like 20 times in the movie.
Oh, it was crazy how many times they repeated it.
And it was funny.
Exactly.
It was really funny. And the proposition is, Dormammu, you leave and you take your goons with you to wherever dimension you are and never return. Dormammu accepts. Caecilius is like, what's going on? Him and his goons get sucked away. The Earth is safe. I wanted to bring up, before I finish the end of the movie, this isn't the end of Dormammu.
No, of course not.
Dormammu is maybe, to me, Doctor Strange's biggest villain. So, do you, for one, see it happening? Seeing, how many Doctor Strange movies are there going to be? We know there's going to be a second.
Yep.
Will they be able to bring Dormammu back, or are they going to have to go down another road?
But it's a tough call. I have no idea what they could do.
Do you remember what Dormammu looked like?
In the movie?
Yes.
No.
So Dormammu is in this mystical space continuum, all colors, and it's just this giant purple head. To me, Dormammu should be like in Spider-Man, the animated series in the 90s, with this flaming head and a body. It reminded me too much of Thanos.
All right.
As a purple head. So I had to get that off my chest.
Quickly wrap this up.
He saves everything. He becomes the Sorcerer of New York, and he puts the eye back because Wong tells him that you can't control an Infinity Stone forever.
No.
That's where you find out the eye is the Time Infinity Stone.
Of course.
Movie ends. We get mid credits and post credits. So during the credits, we have Mordo, who has now left the sorcerers and all that because he's sick that the Ancient One and Strange have broken all the mystical rules.
Yes.
And now he's become a villain. He goes to Pangborn, who uses magic to walk, sucks away his magic, and the line he says is, there are too many sorcerers. He is going to become one of Doctor Strange's, we know in the comic, one of his all-time villains. Mordo.
Okay.
It's going to be. So we see that happen.
Yep.
The best one is Strange is in the New York Sanctum talking to Thor. And Thor is come to him to ask help finding Odin. What gets me is Thor doesn't know that Loki is Odin and that Loki did something at the end of Thor the Dark World yet. So is this a post-credit scene to the beginning or the end of Ragnarok?
No, I have no idea. It could be the beginning of Ragnarok. Who knows?
Yeah, so
Who knows?
we'll see. Ragnarok, I'm excited. November, we'll find out more.
Well, hopefully, I have a little bit of time. I want to talk about this, the whole timeline of the Marvel Universe with Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Okay. How does it match up with the storyline altogether? If you think about it, Stephen Strange's name drop was put in during Winter Soldier.
Yes.
So that means we always know about Stephen Strange during Winter Soldier, and Doctor Strange just came out. So what part of the timeline
I knew you were going to ask this.
does Doctor Strange hit?
It's right in the timeline. The timeline hasn't switched. In Winter Soldier, because I've watched it so much lately, the weapons that they were going to send up to shoot all the people in the world, those were designed to shoot intelligent people that would put up a fight in the future against Hydra. So you got someone who's wicked smart, like Stephen Strange was as a neuroscientist. Those were going to take him out before he even became Doctor Strange. That's the thing, because they were going to take out all these people before they had powers. So that was just a name drop to let you know we are going to do a Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange movie.
It seems kind of odd with this whole storyline not really.
No.
Because if you think about it, during Iron Man 2 is exactly the moment it happened when Thor, the first movie, happened. Because, Carson was talking to Iron Man, and it's like, I gotta go to New Mexico. So, Thor took place right there.
I'm going to take a note about this because we are running out of time, and we will discuss this on the next episode.
All right.
So, unfortunately,
Maybe we'll do half that show, WrestleMania, and half show,
something like that.
the Marvel timeline. I think that'd be a great discussion. Let's do that.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you for joining us. This was episode, I believe, 53 or 54.
Something like that.
We're getting up there. Don't forget, watch this episode and every other episode on our Facebook page at Legends of the Nerds. Like us and follow us on there. Subscribe to the YouTube page at Legends of the Nerds. You can watch every episode there. Follow us on Twitter at KrillinMan. And yes, I am getting our Instagram page up here pretty soon, so you can follow us on Instagram soon. So thank you for joining. Don't forget, our next episode is our anniversary episode. It is WrestleMania 33. It's only 2 weeks away. I'm excited. He's excited. I hope you are too.
Real sports talk next week.
Yeah. And remember, stay nerdy.